Hi there, welcome to my studio. My name is Siobhan. This is Art Skills Online. This is my YouTube channel where I post videos related to figure drawing and specifically how to develop a natural responsive style of drawing through drawing the figure. I focus on gesture and contour. So if figure drawing is something that you're interested in, or if you want to learn how to draw, then stay tuned and consider subscribing so that we can stay in touch. I usually post videos of either my process, my drawing process, or tips and techniques that I think might be useful. And today's video is a process video of a large-scale drawing that I did of the model. I made this drawing based on photo reference, and I'll leave a link to the exact pose in the description below. It's from New Masters Academy, so check it out if you want to follow along with me. So here's the video. I will explain a little bit about the process and about some of the issues that I ran into and how I tried to resolve them. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll check back in with you at the end. So as you can see, it's quite a setup to work large. I used a roll of Fabriano, 120 grams. And to draw this big, you really do need a large size board to draw on, because drawing flat on a surface like a table or the floor will cause a lot of issues for proportion. So you really do need to be standing up. And I posted a video about what paper I normally use for charcoal drawing last week. But I didn't mention Fabriano, and somebody actually reminded me about that in the comments. So thanks very much for that comment. That actually in part inspired me to take this paper out. But I also wanted to get away from drawing in a sketchbook and just kind of loosen up and try and draw in a big, large format. So as usual, I always spend the first while of the drawing, or at least the first good portion of it, just trying to get the impression of the pose down on paper as loosely and as roughly as I can. I'm aiming to really make that tilt of the rib cage and the pelvis read very clearly in the drawing. So this took me quite a while. I worked on that for a long time, because getting that torso, the angle of the torso correct, really kind of anchors the whole rest of the drawing. This pose seems simple at first, but there's actually a bit of a twist going on in the torso. So it's not really a straightforward contrapposto facing forwards. I feel like the pelvis is actually turning away from us and the shoulders are turning towards us. I'm also using willow or vine charcoal, which I tend to rarely draw with. But on this paper particularly, it's really nice to work with. It's very light, and you can get very detailed, finessed lines with it, but crucially you can also erase it, which I needed to do a lot in this drawing in order to get the scale and the proportion correct. So for that, I am using a kneaded eraser and doing quite a bit of erasing out as the drawing progresses, just to get that proportion right, make corrections, but I still want to very much consciously draw in a gestural way. This size of a drawing, this is large scale, and by that I really mean larger than a sketchbook, but it's obviously smaller than life size. The main point that I want to make about this format is that personally I'm much more used to drawing like this size in a live figure drawing class, working from life. So working from a photo reference to the scale is really challenging, and it's not ideal, to be honest. I find photo reference fine for small drawings in my sketchbook, but this scale, in this context, the flat sort of 2D quality of the photo really highlights the limitations of drawing from that, and I think that does show in the final drawing. Having said that, it was just so nice to break out of the small sketchbook and just do something bigger. When you're drawing in your sketchbook, you really are only moving just your hand and forearm, whereas drawing like this, you have to stand up, use your whole body. And I've mentioned before that I think gesture drawings are as much about the gesture that you make across the page as they are about the gesture of the model. So I'm getting close to the end of the drawing here, and I just made a few marks for the features of the face because I was a bit nervous about going in. I'm definitely not trying to draw a portrait at all, so I really just wanted to give some loose indications as to the features. And then the last thing I worked on was the legs. The legs were very challenging to draw at this size. Probably they are slightly out of proportion. I erased here quite a bit to try and get it right. But I worked to get the shadows shaped around the knee and then the upper leg working. And then I just found the ankle for the lower leg and foot. And once that's in place, at least, you know, the drawing is grounded and she's not sort of floating in the page. All in all, I think it turned out to be a drawing that probably could use a lot of correcting and finessing, but the aim, as I said, was to work gesturally throughout and to get a dynamic, expressive quality rather than a super detailed photo quality drawing. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some useful information out of it, or at least got some inspiration for your own drawing, especially if you haven't tried drawing large format before and you want to give it a go. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got any questions or just say hi, I'd love to hear from you, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.